Alright, what up y'all, Sway Breeze here, and I'm back with another banger. So I went to Tokyo recently, right? Public transportation is really big over there. I mean, it's everywhere. There's trains, taxis, bullet trains, subs, everything you can fucking think of. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure you can just have a fucking little Japanese man, like, pick you up and put you on his fucking back, and he'll get you where you gotta go. I mean, it's fucking... But anyway, I was doing some shopping, and I'm finishing up shopping. It's really late. It's like 8 or 9, and it's like a 20-30 minute walk to my hotel. And honestly, bro, I probably walked like 10 miles that day. I'm not fucking walking 30 minutes. That's like 2 miles. It was like 2 miles. I'm not walking 2 miles. So I called taxis, and I guess at this point people were kind of going home, you know. More people were going home, getting into taxis, getting into cabs. So what was left was pretty scarce, you know, like the selection was pretty scarce of like people to get into a cab with. But nonetheless, I found a man kind of in a weird little alley. Just picture like a super tight, like an alleyway as tight as this doorway. Like this is all the room it had. The fucking car could barely fit through that shit. But I saw him there, and I couldn't really see his face at the time, but I was just so happy that I found a taxi. And so I get in this taxi, and instantly I get into the over there on the left hand side is the passenger. So I get into the passenger back seat, you know, like any respectable man would do. I don't want to get in the front seat unless I obviously have to. But you know, I get into my seat, and you know, I'm just ready to go. I tell him where to go, I give him the address, and we get going. And I start to really analyze him. I don't know if that sounds weird to say, but I start to analyze him, and it comes to my attention, dude, this guy is like on death's door. Like, he has nothing left to give. I mean, I'm talking like this dude had wrinkles on top of wrinkles, man. And I'm not trying to make fun of old people, man. I fucking love some old people, especially when they're super kind. Some old people are super sweet. But man, this guy was like, you could tell he was done. And in Japan, when you're 80 years old, you can't drive taxis anymore. That's the law. I looked it up for this specific reason. And I mean, this guy had to be fucking 79 years and 364 days old. I mean, I might have been his last fucking cab ride, dude. And you know, I try not to judge. You know, obviously you want the 25-year-old, you know, strapping Asian man or woman or whatever. You want like the youthful guy when you're in a foreign country where, you know, you don't know how the drivers are, and obviously you can't drive because I don't have a car there. You know, you want someone that looks confident, you know, someone that's wearing fucking gloves. Some of the taxi drivers over there wearing fucking gloves. Dude, this guy, I mean, he couldn't fucking see over the steering wheel. This guy was almost jumping and lifting his butt out of the seat. I mean, this guy must have been 4'10" and a half, dude. I mean, it was all bad. And upon getting onto the main road, I instantly noticed something was wrong. This guy, he could not keep the wheel straight for whatever reason. He just absolutely could not. And he was kind of like looking like this, like he kept doing that, and it was like, yo, we're on the fucking road. What are you not seeing here? And another thing that's huge as far as public transportation is bikes. Everybody bikes over there. So, I mean, you know, there's bikes on the road, bikes on the sidewalk. You know, there's bikes everywhere. Bikes are huge there. They almost have a right-of-way over cars over there. It's kind of weird, actually. So, yeah, I kind of start getting a little freaked out. I'm not gonna lie. You know, he's swerving into other lanes. People are honking at him. He has no reaction. You know, he's not getting mad at the other drivers. At least sometimes with a bad driver, they get mad at the other drivers when they're doing something wrong. Like, oh, fuck you, man. I'm just trying to fucking get in my lane. Fuck you, you know? But this guy had no reaction. He just kept it fucking pushing. I mean, I think he was fucking laughing. I think this motherfucker started giggling. I think it was a joke to him. And like, at this point, I'm not fucking around. My life is on the line. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking this shit dead seriously. I'm fucking gripping the handrail above me. My fucking left butt cheek is like clenched to the fucking cloth on the interior. I mean, I am fucking terrified back here, man. And then, you know, the one thing I didn't really notice was his speed. For some reason, I was so worried about like my life, you know, going into other fucking lanes. I mean, this motherfucker was serpentining. I'm talking about gapping motherfuckers and shit. And then I noticed what really got me worried and like kind of sent me over the edge really was he was going about 85 to 90 miles an hour on a 35 or 45 zone. I don't want to say 45 just in case it was 35 because that would be even worse. But he was going about 85 miles an hour. We'll just call it a 45, which, I mean, going faster than freeway speeds on a fucking city. Sorry, we're in Osaka. I mean, this is a huge fucking world-class city. And this dude is going 40 over the speed limit. I am fucking terrified. And, you know, I'm back there with my dad, so we're kind of, like, laughing, but, like, also super fucking terrified. We're trying to, like, nervously laugh it off. But at this point, there's nothing we can do. Our lives are just in this fucking dude's hands. And, you know, like, when those super stressful situations, like, it feels like the time just won't go by, you know? This was one of those situations. Like, it was literally, if it was, like, a 20 20-30 minute walk. It was like a 5-minute drive. Like, the drive was not long at all. But, you know, traffic and things like that, of course. But it was not a far drive. It was like 5 minutes. And I had my fucking phone on me checking the time. Dude, this motherfucker turned this into a 20-minute taxi. I shit you not. Like, it was like a 15-20 minute taxi ride. And there's like bikers on the side of the road literally swerving out of the way because they see him last second before he wipes them out. And dude, this guy's going like, you know, he's ranging from like 60 to 80 miles an hour depending on how much traffic he can get around. I mean, this dude almost caught like 10 fucking homicides in the matter of fucking 15 minutes. So anyway, the main road's fucking terrifying, but then we finally turn into the cuts, you know, like the little back alleyways. I don't know if anybody's gone to Japan or knows a decent amount of Japan, you know, like the narrow, you know, Japanese roads. They're everywhere. Everybody knows them. And the hotel just so happened to be kind of off of one of those beaten paths a little bit, but it's the same thing. Honestly, it's kind of batshit crazy where like there's cars coming your direction and against your direction and left and right. Like they're going, everything's a four-way with the no stop signs. You just have to fucking trust people. So, you know, after hearing that information, you think, okay, this guy probably had to go slow then, you know, back alleys, people walking, you know, leaving bars, leaving restaurants, you know, there's a lot of people walking, you know, you'd think he'd be going really slow. And he kind of does. He's going 40 miles an hour on a fucking back alleyway. I mean, honestly, I'm kind of more paranoid a little bit. I probably would have been going, you know, 10-15 miles an hour on these back roads. I'll say 15. And he was doing double that consistently the whole entire fucking time. So, I mean, you can imagine I'm pretty fucking terrified. I mean, I'm talking about, like, you know, it's not really, I don't want to get dramatic, but there's probably like 5 or 6, you know, four-ways that we have to cross before we get to the hotel. And dog, I think like 4 out of 6 of these fucking four-ways, like, we were probably, if we were a second slower or a second faster, we literally would have killed somebody on a fucking bike. Like, it was that bad. Like, I remember one time there was like a biker coming our way and this dude just didn't see it, and so me and my dad are like, yo, like, he's literally gonna fucking kill this man. And he kind of like slams on his brake a little bit, not to stop himself from hitting the biker, to just get by, so that the biker can get by. Like, it wasn't like slam on the brake, look at the biker go. It was like slowly brake, and then like, we just crossed with the biker. Like, we almost took this motherfucker out. And at this point, and this guy was about, you know, maybe 2 to 5 feet from a homicide, and all he had to say for it was, sorry. I'm not trying to be fucking racist or make fun of their accents, but sorry? Just a sorry to me? You should have said sorry to the motherfucker you just almost took the life of. I mean, bikes are big, but trust me, I would have been perfectly fine in that backseat. But I mean, it was fucking wild, man. You know, it was just a bad experience. I mean, we get to the hotel and, you know, the guy, I think he fucking fell asleep, you know, because in the morning he was at my fucking hotel still. I think he fell asleep at the hotel and couldn't make it home the next day. Like, it was so bad, dude. You guys have no clue. And I have another story that was kind of similar, but the lady wasn't like that bad of a driver, but it's kind of the same story. But we had another driver who was a lady, a woman, and her thing was just speeding. She was fucking flying, looking over her shoulder, fucking one hand on the, like, going like this and then fucking jerking the wheel to swerve into the other lane. I mean, it was just as terrifying for sure. But honestly, it kind of felt like fucking Fast and Furious, so I was like okay with it. But it was definitely just as bad, if not worse. So yeah, I mean, taxis are cool. I love taxis. Uber's awesome. I think it's a cool freelance, but holy fuck, man. Some of these people do not, first of all, they don't deserve licenses. And second of all, driving as a service, you better be a damn good driver. You know what I'm saying? Like, driving is one thing. You got to get to A to B. I understand. Like, some people just aren't that good. They get fucking terrified of it. I know a lot of people that literally will do anything but drive. But man, I mean, this guy was no fucking joke. This guy and this lady were no joke. They legit tried to take my life. So yeah, if you guys are going to Japan, just, you know, maybe check the age of the driver. It's kind of fucking nuts because you never really know what you're gonna get. But, you know, just check the age of the driver. Probably don't get into a taxi with fucking 80, 90-year-old man. That's at least what I learned. But yeah, I almost died in Japan, and it probably wasn't the only time. And I love Japan. I think it was awesome. I fucking love the way they live. I love their culture and all that. The food was absolutely amazing. I also have a story about food that I can make a story time on as well. I definitely learned a lesson that day. You know, check the age. If you guys are going to Japan, check the age of that driver. It is no joke. I don't know why I'm super fucking red right now. Just, you know, pretend you're not seeing that. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like, man. And I'm gonna come at you guys with more story times and gameplays and all that shit. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be careful with your taxis and tell somebody you love them. Later.